effortless. And he makes it look effortless. And he makes it look effortless.
And all of America will have eyes on this young man, Ryan Hall, who had such a fantastic debut here last year. 2:8:24 went on after that to win the American Trophy. There'll be more to come from Ryan Hall, I'm sure.
I don't think there's any more introductory message that needs to be made. Would you give the hugest 4 o'clock Cornwall welcome to Mr. Ryan Hall? Oh, man. Oh, we are so excited to have Ryan here and his wife Sarah as well. And as you saw, some of you who are familiar with road racing, marathons and such, you know that if you enter a marathon, they give you a bib, like all of our volunteers had tonight as you came in, a bib with a number. Unless you're really good, then they put your name on it. I've never had my name on a bib, ever. But Ryan, we thought that we would give you a Cornwall Church bib with your name on it. And yeah, we're thankful that your name isn't like Gabra Selassie or Kefla Ziggy or Canucci. Hall fits a lot better. So there you go. You got your own Cornwall Church official name. Yeah, there you go. That's perfect. Hey, we are glad that you're all here. We're glad that they are here. We're glad you're here. I just want to real quickly before we get started say just a thanks to many of the people who helped get the word out here. I want to thank Jim at runningshoes.com, as well as Steve at Fairhaven Runners, and the Greater Bellingham Running Club. Who am I missing? Bellingham Fit, as well as Pee Wee at Western, and I know that we had the Western NC2A Division II Regionals. And is there a group from Modesto here right now? Did I hear that from California somewhere? Okay, you got to have a little more enthusiasm. We're giving you some airtime. Woo! Are you tired from running? Come on, let's hear it from Modesto. And a lot of the coaches, local coaches and different things, and our people here at Cornwall, just thank you so much for getting the word out. And we're excited about this. Ryan, so excited to have you here. I want to talk about a lot of things. It would be real easy to think, okay, here's Ryan Hall, record holder, unbelievable marathoner, Olympian, whatever, born to run, probably came out of the womb running, probably running around. But you have said that even in middle school, in PE, when they were saying, okay, guys, it's time to run the mile, you complained just like everybody else.
Yeah, despite my dad was a runner. I was actually born in Kirkland, Washington, so not all that far from here. And my dad was a runner and also a baseball player, and he was drafted by the Baltimore Orioles, actually. But he wanted me to be a runner. I think, coming out of the womb, you mentioned that. It was funny because he would take my legs when I was a little kid, just a baby, and I'd be laying on my back, and he'd go like this really fast, and he'd say, run, 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 run.
Okay, let's stop. So those of you who have small children, that's the key. That's it. See, now it's my folks' fault that I'm not faster. If they would have done that with me, said they did this with me, and I eat really well. All right.
Well, yeah, I don't know if that's the key or not, but I'm probably going to do that to my kids.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So
when you're in 8th grade, you're on your way to a basketball game, and there's this defining moment, really, of your life at Big Bear Lake or whatever. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, Big Bear Lake in Southern California. It's 15 miles around this lake. It's a small resort town. There's, like 17,000 people in my hometown. And like you mentioned, I hated to run before this moment. I loved baseball. I'd go out for hours and throw against a tarp and picture myself striking out guys in the World Series. And I was all about baseball. I always watched the games and everything. And also played a little bit of football. But being 5 foot and 100 pounds in 8th grade, I had a big X on my back because everyone was just coming after me. And I also played a little bit of basketball, but I'd say I sat bench more than I actually played. And then this one day, I was in 8th grade. 14 years old, I was heading down the hill, because everywhere is down the hill from where I live. And I was heading down to a basketball game and was just looking out over the lake. And it was kind of a weird thing. Like, I just felt like God put on my heart to try and run around the lake, which was kind of crazy because, like you mentioned, I didn't like to run at all at that point. And he really just kind of flipped my heart on that. It's like, I want you to try and run around the lake. And at that moment, it became something that I really desired and I really wanted to do. And I was like, this is really weird. So I went home and told my dad about it. And you would think a dad would probably be like, let's start with something a little shorter. But my dad was like, all right, let's do it. And so the next weekend, I laced up my basketball shoes, and we headed out on a very
Sweet.
long,
Good.
painful run.
Those are your racing flats.
Yeah.
High tops.
Yeah, those didn't work out too well. I don't
Yeah.
recommend them.
So there's hope. I mean, if people are here and they hate running, I mean, they could be the next Ryan Hall.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely didn't like it. And I think a lot of people don't like it. And you don't necessarily love it the first time you do it. It's one of those things where the more you do it, the more you love it, because it's hard because you're not in very good shape when you start. So it's not that much fun to be feeling bad out there.
Yeah.
But I promise you, if you start, it's going to get better as you go.
So Ryan, along that line, because we have people in here who are runners on teams. We have a lot of people in our church who've done marathons, half marathons, 10Ks, different things locally. Some just trying to get in better shape. Most of us will never be at your level. I know that. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it's just the way it is.
There's still hope for Bob, though. I went
Yeah.
out for a run for him this morning. He was strong as an ox. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, but have you ever seen an ox run? Okay, so there you go. The running of the bulls in Spain, that's me. I'm back with the bulls. So, yeah, thanks, Ryan. So give us just on the running level for a word of encouragement for those of us who are running maybe a mile or running a half a mile or 3 miles, whatever. Just give us some encouragement.
Yeah, you know what? Running for so long in our country has been seen as punishment or something that's not enjoyable. And people ask me all the time, why are the Africans, in particular the East Africans, so good at our sport? And my wife and I got to go to Zambia, which we'll talk about, I think, a little bit later. But when you go there, you just are impressed that these people love to run. Like we had this girl who's running next to us. She was probably like 10 years old, and she has her school books, and she's running next to us, and you would think she's at Disneyland. She has this huge smile, and she's just bouncing along. She ran like 4 miles with us. Yeah. It's insane. But
was she as strong as an ox?
She was as swift as a gazelle.
Wow.
But I say all that just to say, like, make running fun. Whatever you need to do to make it fun, do that. And so if that's running every day, do that. If it's playing ultimate frisbees with your buddies, but do, like, progress. Don't get stale and do the same thing over and over again, because I don't, for one, think that's very much fun.
Yeah.
So our training is always varying, it's always different, and we're always finding ways to keep it fresh and fun. So
That's awesome.
I think if you get out the door and you make sure you're having fun, you're going to do well.
Yeah, that's sweet. Now, Ryan, you are best known now as a marathoner, but even in college even, and out of college, you were thinking, I'm going to be the next Jim Ryan, I'm going to be the next America's miler. 1 mile is far different than 26.2. In fact, you said, I love the marathon more than any other distance. How did that happen? And what is it about the marathon, that 26 miles, what is it about that distance that you love?
Yeah, I was definitely bent on the mile. I love Jim Ryan. I love Steve Scott and all the tradition that America has with the miles. And in this country, people ask you, one, how fast can you run a mile? And have you ever run a marathon? Those are the kind of two ways that people know about running for the most part in the general public. And I always saw myself as a miler. I watched the movie Prefontaine one too many times. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
Yeah.
But I wasn't about to let anyone tell me that I wasn't fast enough. And so I was stuck on it for a long time. And you would think, my first run was 15 miles around the lake, that maybe that was God's way of telling me that I should be a marathoner. But no, I thought I was a miler. And so I stuck with that until, I just kept struggling at Stanford, and I wasn't improving at all. And it just seemed like I was trying to fit something into something that wasn't the same shape, And then eventually I finally let go of the pride of running the mile and was like, all right, Lord, whatever you want me to do, however you built me, that's what I want to do, because I'm tired of banging my head against a wall. Mm-hmm. And so then I opened myself up to some longer distances, and immediately, like this, started getting breakthrough and just feeling like, oh, this is what I was supposed to be doing the whole time. What was I doing the last couple of years? Yeah. And it just snowballed towards the marathon.
Right. So what is it about the distance? And when you said, I love the marathon more than any other distance, what is it about that distance, besides just that that's what you're built for, but what is it about that distance?
Yeah, the marathon is special for a lot of different reasons, and I think it's it's special to everyone for maybe a little bit different reason. For myself, I love challenges. You know, like I grew up in the mountains in Big Bear, going wood cutting with my dad and my brothers. I'm in the middle of 5. I have 3 brothers, and we'd always be stacking. We call it ironwood. I don't know if you guys have ironwood here. It's like this really hard, really heavy wood, and we'd cut that stuff up because it burns forever and it burns super hot. And we'd just be stacking each other up, you know, we have to carry it back to the truck after my dad had cut it. And we'd always be like, one more piece, and our arms would be shaking.
Out here, we hug trees here.
I'm from California, though. We're supposed to be tree huggers, too,
Okay.
right? So anyways, well, those trees were dead, too, by the way.
Sure, listen, if I took a chainsaw to you, you'd be dead too. I'm sorry,
This is
go on.
true.
We were talking about the marathon, weren't we?
Yes. So anyways, I love challenges, you know, and like sometimes like I wouldn't make it to the truck and my arms would collapse and you know we'd get all scraped up and stuff, but I just love the challenge, and I've always loved challenges, whether it's climbing mountains or whatever. Like I love challenges, and for me the marathon is the ultimate challenge. You know, I could go longer than a marathon if I wanted to, but I love going fast too. In the marathon, you know, I'm still averaging like 4:48 per mile on my best day. And so it's fun to be able to challenge yourself with speed and distance. And the marathon's kind of that sweet spot.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's awesome, the challenge of that.